I loved what you said about recognizing how deeply we belong to the world, how we are born of it, sustained through it. It is our reality, and it's a reality that we have contracted from. And that contraction isn't a recent thing. It began with the Neolithic Revolution. Um, so, imagine the Neolithic Revolution, of course, is where we discovered agriculture and we built permanent settlements and we domesticated animals. But imagine that first moment when someone gathers seed and pushes it into the ground and pats it down. With that gesture, the whole schema of the world has shifted on its axis, because suddenly this bit of ground is now mine because my seed is there. And suddenly the little plant growing up beside my seed is a weed. And until that moment, there was no such thing as a weed. There was just the bounty of the goddess. And, the animal coming along is now vermin because it might eat my little plant. And the tree growing beside my plant has to be cut down because it's putting my plant in shade. And when my domesticated animals have animals of their own, when they breed, those young animals are my possession, are impecunious, which means, to have no money, comes from an Indo-European root that means you're without cattle. And our relationship with those animals is a mirror image of our dogma reinforced relationship with the God in the sky, who, we determine the moment of death of our domesticated animals. When we butcher them, we determine with whom they'll breed. We have control over them as we wish to assert control over nature, as we imagine this deity is asserting control over us. So it's a large, large story that has led us to contract and contract and contract into a state of feeling alone. And the very proposition that we are alone is untenable. All there is in this world, in this reality, is wholeness. The universe feels your every gesture, your every thought. You are informed by the currents of the present at every moment. They're coursing through your being. And so we contract into this idea that we're alone. It's like we're taken as little seedlings and stuck into this pot of aloneness and told to grow there. And as soon as we buy into this cultural message that we are alone, it's like a domino effect, because now my experience is strictly private. It doesn't affect the world. The world is buffered against affecting it. So I've got this private experience inside my skin, and my number one job becomes to organize that experience, to make it feel good, to sustain it, to win at it, to whatever, to get it right. And so that places us in self-consciousness. We are, divided between the supervisor in the head and this life that needs to be organized, just as we've organized our farming and our animals. And it's as though we've taken the spotlight of our attention and turned it off the world and put it on the self. So it's extraordinary that we spend so many waking hours of our day thinking about our thoughts. And it's this self-absorption that to us feels natural. We've habituated to it, but we are imprisoned in this paradigm of self-consciousness because we are living in the head. And I mean, we are of nature. We belong to nature. We we've so contracted that we feel to connect with our deepest truth is a matter of sort of dropping down inside and finding the truth within yourself. And I think that idea is part of our contraction. It's part of our self-consciousness. Even the idea of how important it is to know who you are is part of that contraction. We assemble this construct of this is me. And then we have to defend that construct. Who I am, I discover who I am as I come into felt relationship with the world around me. As I stand before a tree and feel its presence, I'm illuminated in a particular way. As I listen to birdsong, I am illuminated by it. As I feel the waves washing up on the shore, I'm illuminated in a particular way by that. The more deeply I come into felt relationship with the world around me, and especially with nature, the more clearly I discover who I am, not in a silo, but in relationship.
Mm.